I'll have scores around the league for you at the half. But it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team.
Here's the kicker, Jake Elliott, ready to get this one started. And we are underway from Ford Field. Fielded about a yard deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. Leading the charge at quarterback, the former Georgia Bulldog, Matthew Stafford.
And you've got to think that they've got to be feeling pretty fresh. You know, coming off of the open week, didn't have to play. Right? Gives them a chance to rest up a little bit, heal some of those aches and pains, and excited about playing again. That really rekindles things a little bit. I want to see how they come out and establish themselves here early.
And that bye week coming right where they want it in the middle of the schedule. They go play action here on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Danielle Hunter, it's his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Here's a throw out wide complete to his running back right side. 27 yards there, a first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week...
Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground, and the Vikings pick up the football. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect him.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff?
And he lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. So a rocky start on both sides offensively. Turnovers exchanged.
I saw what you did there.
What'd I do? Rocky. Too rocky.
I saw that. I got it. And, you know, and right now, they're carrying it around like they are wearing boxing gloves if we're going to have that kind of a reference. They've got to get it together and start playing a little bit better ball.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Cousins now to throw on 1st down. And Thielen's got it. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
Elliott good on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive, and it's polished off by a Viking score. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
They're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
On 1st down, it's Stafford. Complete to Jones. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Back to throw, Stafford. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Now Stafford. It's caught. Jones. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a 1st down.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
He gets this into the hands of Taylor. And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. And they find themselves just outside the top 10 in the league against the pass, currently bringing up the number 11 spot.
And while teams don't like to talk about it, they're pretty proud of their rankings. But this ranking is going to be put to the test today because they're going up against a top 5 passing offense in this one.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Stafford. Johnson's got it complete. 20. Touchdown, Detroit. Kerryon Johnson, his 4th touchdown on the year. as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him, and you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. And now out comes Minnesota. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. They start the drive with Cook. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver, and it's 2nd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. On 2nd down, Cook. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
I think if we put together a job description for a middle linebacker, we would start with being able to hold down things in the middle of the line of scrimmage and be able to take on blockers. But how about the guys who can go sideline to sideline and make plays?
Love a guy that can do that. We saw a perfect example of it right there. Play action now. Cousins. Open man is Thielen. It's complete.
Come on, fellas.
These two teams all tied after 1. The Vikings with the football here to begin the second quarter as they've got it with a 1st and 10. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. On 2nd and a couple. Cousins, and he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead.
And that drive we just saw that culminated in a touchdown, exactly what many offenses are looking for. Sustained ones that can impose their will on the other team.
Elliott on for the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again, Matthew Stafford trots back onto the field. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but they're losing. And I think as the captain of the offense, you probably always feel like you need to do more in that situation.
The best have always felt that way, and they won't settle for anything less. So right now,
weaving through traffic, and now he's free. The 30. 10. Touchdown, Detroit. Kenny Golladay, his third touchdown now on the year. As they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match in a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
Brought down that time by Christian Kirksey.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Mike 57. Push him back. Push him back. 51. Mike 57.
On 2nd and 7, Cousins, complete. Smith has it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards, a first down.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Ready? Patch it.
On second down, it's Cook. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. To throw is Cousins. It's caught. Smith. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
On second down now, it's Cook. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
But they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone.
50.
On 1st and 10, Cousins. This is caught. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a first down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They'll run for it with Cook. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook, his 11th touchdown of the year, as his guys are able to regain the lead. And he was excellent on that drive. He deserved to be the one to get across the chalk.
Oh, I agree with you totally. A workhorse on the drive, and how about that last decisive run to punch it in?
So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it's capped off by the touchdown run coming from Dalvin Cook. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. 15 yards for the Lions there on a first down.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Now Stafford. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. Coverage there by the safety, Harrison Smith.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Daniil Hunter in there for sack number 22 on the year. And, folks, that's just a half sack shy now of Michael Strahan's record of 22.5 set in 2001. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
On fourth down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it. Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Now Cousins. It's complete to Diggs. And he does take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
Brutal, so take away the long touchdown.
It's a cruel game sometimes, partner.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty.
Gun!
Banjo. Mike's 50.
From the gun, here's Cousins. Going deep for Diggs. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
I like the boldness, and I like that they took a shot downfield, but it was well covered, and he was able to get a hand in and knock it away.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. This time they stay on the ground. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. So on 4th down, they bring on the Michigan man, Matt Wild, to kick it away. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. A good kick, 49 yards, just 3 on the return. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
This is taken at his 4. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. So here are the Vikings to take over. Last week they got the victory against the Colts, so they lead this one as well as they begin things here 1st and 10. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. To throw, Cousins going deep for Diggs. And got his man complete. Give him 30 yards there.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. They get 14 there. 1st down, Vikings. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense. Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Cousins, and this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
You go tight. You got tight. You got tight right there.
Gun.
Motion. Mike 50, Mike 50.
Listen to me.
Heavy on the edges. Hey, check. Mike 50, Mike 50. Bring it. Mike 50, Mike 50.
Hey, orbit.
Let's go, heavy.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. They'll throw complete to BB. And they stop him short of the 1st as he can only get to the 20. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a 1st down.
And Elliott puts this one through. And that will push the lead up to double digits now at 10. So a good kick there to polish off the drive with 3 points.
Yeah, coaches always talk about finishing a drive with a kick. 2 of them give you points, either an extra point or, in this case, a field goal.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. A shotgun snap for Stafford. Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hockenson. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every.
Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And this is scooped up by the Lions.
And that's what friends are for.
Right. As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turned it over there. That's a big momentum changer and put your defense in a bad spot.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. From the gun, here's Stafford. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. Throwing to Stafford. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. Now it's Stafford. Daniil Hunter in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks.
That's quite a stand there defensively. A huge sack on 3rd down, and that's going to force him into a field goal attempt.
A 43-yard attempt.
And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and this is back down to a 7-point game. So a good snap, good hold, and right down the middle.
Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, partner.
You mean like kicking the ball?
Exactly.
Well, that was in high school.
Doesn't matter. I don't care what level. You hit them, they go through.
And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. And now out comes Minnesota. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On the carry, it's Cook. The UCLA product, Kenny Young, had the tackle.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now a give running right. It's Cook. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They'll run it. Here's Cook. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Running for it. Here's Cook. And he will have the 1st down as he gets this to the 47. And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
And 58 is the mic. Go 58 is the mic. Here we go, here we go. 58 is the mic, 58. 58 is the mic. Gun.
1st down. Here's Cousins. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Tight end Irv Smith, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7.
First. Nice 50, nice 50. Watch the run. Gun. Here we go. 50. Mike 50.
Working out of the gun, Cousins. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. To throw again. Stafford. Incomplete, almost intercepted. They haven't picked him off yet. Would have been a great time for the 1st, but instead it's 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. The Vikings going to signal for their 1st of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here. 3rd and 10. Operating from the gun. Stafford. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
12 yards on the return that time. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. but you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead. I got the sense that the defense created a little momentum for them there, didn't they?
Did their job, forced the punt. Now, nice start to the drive. Offense has to do their part.
Yeah, they certainly do, but what a great start for them. They got to go thank the guys on D.
Cousins now to throw on first down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up, 2nd and 10. Cook. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 12 yards there and a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
They run again on first down. Cook. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Ben Gideon in on the stop. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13. Now, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead. Fights through it. Give him a gain of 4, able to convert, and that sets up 1st and goal now.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. It's 1st and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away. They'll run with Cook. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
Elliott good with a PAT, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it's capped off by the touchdown run coming from Dalvin Cook. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So Stafford and the Lions now down by 2 touchdowns. 1:51 on the clock. Field goals useless at this point. They need 2 touchdowns, and they need them in short order.
Hey, defense, let's go. Pick it up, D.
On 1st and 10, Stafford. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing again. Stafford, screen play. Johnson. He'll have a first down past the 40. And all the way down to the 25-yard line. Clock running here, under 90 seconds to go. On first down at Stafford. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Danielle Hunter in there to drop him as that clock continues to run. This complete to Jones. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Danielle Hunter in there yet again. They just cannot block him. He now has 8 sacks, and that is a new single-game record. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17. Now Stafford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Able to get 9 out of that pitch and catch, but now 3rd and goal. Stafford looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Intended for Taylor Taylor. Incomplete. Xavier Rhodes on the coverage.
The field goal doesn't help. They're going to go for the 6 here on 4th and goal. One last throw here for Stafford. And this is going to be caught. So it affects the final score, not the outcome, but it is a late touchdown here on the game's final play. Doesn't affect the outcome, but, hey, nice job there to put it in the end zone for the final play.
Could it affect other things? Sometimes these types of scores are ones that we don't consider big at the time. Then later on we find out maybe that was a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Or, of course, in the fantasy football world, these points mean a lot.
A lot there. Well, on the one side, if you try to take away something positive from this game, they played to the final whistle, getting the touchdown there on the last play. But still, all for naught, really.
Yeah, I'd say